Fujinami, wisteria blossom swaying in the breeze. The Japanese wisteria, or Fuji in Japanese, is a species of flowering plant that Japanese people encounter regularly in their daily lives. The plant, characterized by its vine-like nature, doesn't stand out as a singular presence. Rather, it extends by coiling itself around other plants, dangling down its long tufts of drooping flowers. The flower clusters that hang from the wisteria, or hanabusa as we say, are beautiful in the way they sway in the breeze, particularly when they are trained on horizontal trellises. Fujinami is the word for this, literally translated as wisteria waves, is a metaphor likening that swaying motion to the undulations of ocean waves. This metaphorical description, Fujinami, has a history that spans over 1,300 years, dating back to the Manyoshu, in particular Book 3 of the Manyoshu, among other books from that collection. There have always been people who have mistakenly read the word Fujinami literally as the name of a plant. It is not the name of a plant. But let's be absolutely clear. The expression is, in fact, poetic through and through. In 1995, I had the honor of serving as the composer of a poem, or the Meshi Udo, for the annual Utakai Hajime, the first poetry reading held at the Imperial Palace. The theme, or dai, for the poetry composing at the gathering was the word nami, wave. Normally, the simple poetic description of a wave would make for rather uninspired poetry. Since the Imperial New Year's poems are presented to His Majesty the Emperor, I thought I would make my poem a so-called ode, or a koka, as we say. I decided to coin a new word, Sakura Nami, which equates to cherry blossom wave. Of course, cherry blossoms, or cherry trees, sakura, do not dangle their flowers the way Fuji do. Nevertheless, they do send their petals scattering in a flurry with each gust of wind. The Japanese language has a term for that scattering, hanafubuki, or flower blizzard, for cherry blossom petals falling in the wind. In my poem, then, I tried to evoke the way flowers look as they ride a gust of wind, whirling and dancing as they move through the air. I imagined my Sakura Nami phrasing as a kind of mimetic invocation of the old wisdom so evident in the exemplary word Fujinami. When the wind blows, the wisteria's flower tufts lift and sway, making a kind of wave that gracefully crests and falls. How did the Japanese of antiquity regard that graceful movement? In fact, the lily flower is called yuri in Japanese because it flutters and sways, yureru, in a lilting yura-yura way in the breeze. Yura inspired yuri, and that swaying is what prompted the pre-modern Japanese to revere the yuri as a holy flower, or seika, as we say in Japanese. Moreover, an episode in Book 2 of the Kojiki describes a scene in which several aristocrats tried to cure the taciturn imperial prince, who showed no signs of speaking despite his age, of his chronic reticence by putting him into a boat and rocking it to and fro, yura-yura, in order to get him to speak. In the same way, they must have regarded the ever-swaying Japanese wisteria as a sacred flower, or seika. Moreover, the wisteria dons a splendid cloak of pale purple flowers. Purple, murasaki in Japanese, is one of the shigoku iro, colors that high court officials wear on formal occasions. The color murasaki has long been a symbol of nobility. With those images and associations in mind, Japanese people have used the word Fujinami with its rich nuances for countless generations. The flowers, gently swaying in the breeze, indeed strike a noble, lofty air, a grace that resonates on Fujinami's distinctive linguistic wavelength.